If you have a G9 Mark II, a GH7, a S52, S52X, or basically any camera that will allow you to record on an external SSD using your USB-C port, then in that case you will need some kind of a mounting device that is going to mount on your cage or your camera and also hold securely your SSD. I went ahead and actually bought SmallRig SSD Holder. This is a universal 2-in-1 holder, and one of the reasons that I actually bought it because it's compatible both with my G9 Mark II as well as going ahead and mounting on the back side of my iPhone 16 Pro. So let's just open up and see what's there in it. Using my trusty knife to just open this up from both the sides. Just be careful that nothing is actually hitting you. Be extremely careful when you're using any sharp objects. Just box up. As usual, like all accessories of SmallRig, it's very well packaged. The pack out inside this. Oh, hey, I'm a bit rough of trying to open stuff, and this is where that's the device by itself. SmallRig does provide a manual along with its mounting accessory it's actually selling. One of the reasons I actually bought this mounting accessory very specifically is because A, it's actually having this horseshoe mount. I can go ahead and use that. B, it's actually, this is horseshoe mount that I can actually remove off completely, and then I can use this surface for MagSafe connectivity. And the SSD is actually secured with a thumb force by using this thumb screw. You actually also have a screw to clamp in and clamp out the USB-C cable. So USB-C cable that you're actually going to use to connect your SSD and your phone, or a G9 Mark II or GH7 or an S52 or S52X can be definitely secured here. This is my iPhone with a MagSafe. It's the 16 Pro, so I can actually take this and put it on this one. Well, it is supposed to actually stick on using magnets. There is actually a thin protective film here. Supposed to get rid of it, and hopefully then it'll actually stick. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. Don't hold this to hold your phone. You're gonna break it. You gotta hold your phone, and this is just an accessory to hold your SSD behind the iPhone 16 Pro or the 15 Pro. I have a Samsung portable SSD of T5 version of it and 1 terabyte actually of space. The right way is to first loosen this up, put through your USB-C cable. Always use a good quality USB-C cable, otherwise you'll be actually facing issues in terms of data transfer and data not being transferred properly and stuff. Now once the cable is actually through, you can actually slide the SSD in like this all the way to the end in this way, and then just start slowly twisting in the thumb screw, and it'll go ahead and actually tighten it. Be careful, you do not do over tightening. Just a small finger tightening is good enough. You still have electronic components inside, you do not want to spoil them. Now this is very well locked in. Now once I actually have my USB-C up here, I'm going to use this particular screw to tighten up to hold the USB-C cable in place along with my SSD. Now that's there, that's tightened up very well. Now I'm going to take my horseshoe mount and go ahead and actually mount it. This is just a push button type, as you can see. So I would just push the button, push it in, leave it, it's actually up there. Now since there's a horseshoe mount, I can go ahead and actually mount it directly on my Black Mamba cage in the horseshoe mount space, which is actually out here. If I want to keep my rig very light, I'll be doing this. Now this is basically hand tighten there, hand tighten there. Take my USB-C cable, put it directly into my G9 Mark II. Open up the display and then switch it on. Now the advantages on a G9 Mark II, I can actually flip my mode selection into the movie mode or intelligent movie mode or SNQ mode, either way you want to select. So just put it in movie mode there. Now obviously I'm having frame guides. This is for my horizontal. I can just press the Q button. I'm in MOV now by default, and then now if I can draw your attention to the bottom row here on the record quality, all these record qualities are actually available for me. Okay. Now some of them are actually disabled because I think it's not taking my hard disk still in as a memory source. So all I got to do is into the settings and then again into the gear, and not the gear settings, in the wrench settings, then come to the third icon and then come to USB. The USB mode is under selection, and then you're actually having the USB supplies on. So I'm going to select the select connection. Now I'm going to select the connection type. It's going to be PC storage, not tether, because you have put a hard disk in, and then I click it on, come back in. That's HDMI connection. Type exposure, we are in vlog, metering mode, ISO sensitivity, should all good with that. Recording formats, MOV. Actually I can click here. Now I can choose Apple ProRes. High performance PC is required, yes. And then now it's actually Apple ProRes. Image quality is full area. Now if I see the record options under Apple ProRes for my G9 Mark II is full HD 25p 422, full HD 25p 422HQ, full HD 50p 422HQ. That's it. I don't have any of the other modes actually available, which is really weird. Okay, maybe these are actually internal modes. Yeah, you have to enable USB SSD here. If you don't enable this, then your USB hard disk, the SSD hard disk, would not be recognized. So it says please wait. Once you click on that, that's trying to initialize your USB SSD. It says the USB SSD was not formatted by this camera, so you might actually have a challenge with that. So it's very simple. You would actually go to USB SSD and just click format. Ensure that there is nothing stored in your SSD of any importance or actually of any data above there. It's always advisable to take a backup of your SSD before you're trying to format it, because once you format it, you lose all the data. So I would go ahead and click format it. Now this SSD is actually formatted by the G9 Mark II. So the file system is now compatible to do most of the things that we would like to do in a G9 Mark II. Now, if I go back and I actually look at video modes that are actually available for me, so I would look for log and then my file type is still ProRes. Come back in here, record, and now if we can see, all the other types are actually opened up because the G9 Mark II actually recognizes the SSD, and since it's actually recognizing the SSD, it can now record C4K 25p 422 or 422HQ, C4K 50p 422 or 422HQ, 5.7K 25p 422 to HQ, and that's it. I think that's the highest quality you can actually record. And as you can see here, you have a very good assistance on the amount of data bandwidth that gets consumed. If you're going to record at 5.7K 25p 422HQ, you're going to actually read almost like 1.6 Gbps of data, maybe for every second or few seconds, Whereas if you're going to do 5.7K 25p just 422, not the HQ, then it's 1.1 Gbps. C4K 50p 422HQ. Now this is what actually excites me. I can record cinema 4K 17:9 ratio 50p in Apple ProRes just on the hard disk without using any external monitors, nothing, directly using my G9 Mark II, and that's 1.6 Gbps of data I'm getting written out there. That means it's 1.6 gigabits, not the bytes. It's a smaller b, but still that's the amount of data that has been written for every second. Obviously you can do both 422 and 422HQ and C4K. I don't see 4K at all, but I see again F full HD. So let's see a couple of samples of this data. If you would like to, just select 422HQ in full HD 50p, or let's just select 25p because that's actually available in all. And there we go, record, and let me just shift focus between these guys. Yeah, this guy is in the genie is in focus, the intelligent monkey is in focus, and our beautiful octopus lady is into focus. Both genie and octopus lady in focus. Looks like they're on the same level of actually focus pane up there. Switch it off, stop the recording. Now very easy, go into quick menu, click on that, and then if you can see here, you can keep changing them. So I'm going to change it to C4K 422, C4K 25p 422, and record. Let's go to the intelligent monkey in the back. Let's come back to the genie. Let's focus on the beautiful octopus lady. Stop recording. Now we're going to go ahead and actually select 5.7K 422HQ, I think that's the full sensor readout if I'm not wrong. And I hit record. So we're going to go to the intelligent monkey first, as usual. Then we're going to have the genie in focus. Then we're going to come to our lovely octopus lady on focus and end recording. So these are all the sample videos that you're actually watching as this is being done. It's actually edited on Final Cut Pro. So that's the reason I've actually, because I use Final Cut Pro, I would love to use the Apple ProRes resolution codecs above there. But apart from that, I can always change it to MOV, and then you can see the fun actually of using an SSD. Because when I have 1 terabyte of this data in a MOV format come out of it in 5.8K, obviously 420 chroma sampling, but still 10-bit 25p, I'm able to record for 11 hours straight. And then if I go to recording resolution like C4K, right, or 4K, either way you would prefer, for some reason under MOV, while using the SSD, it has disabled all the 100 frames per second in the PAL region. Not sure why, but all the 4K 50p 422 10-bit intra, which is also along with high recording, are actually all enabled. It's a bit weird actually looking at this. So if you are going to have the SSD enabled on a G9 Mark II, S52X, or a GH7, I'm speaking about G9 Mark II because that's what I own. Your 100 frames per second is actually disabled when you're recording to an SSD. The max you can actually record is only 50p, which is okay. I mean, in terms of slow-mo, but okay, let me take C4K 50p 422 10-bit intra at high speed, and let's see how many hours it can record. It can record up to 2 hours 45 minutes. Now the same thing, if I'm going to just record it as just a normal 4K footage, 4K 60p, the most, or 50p if you're in PAL region, the most common thing that you would ever record on. 4K 50p 422 chroma sampling, 10-bit long GOP compression, you're looking at 11 hours 2 minutes of actually recording. This is after recording the ProRes clips before now, and this is 1 terabyte SSD from Samsung. T5 is the model number. Now, moving forward, if I look at 4K 50p 422 chroma sampling, 10-bit all intra, but a little bit lower bandwidth of recording, then that's roughly 3 hours. And if I look at higher bandwidth of recording, then it's roughly around 2 hours 45 minutes. That's a lot of video. And to give you an example, this is how C4K 422 chroma sampling 10-bit all intra at 50p is getting actually recorded at a higher frame rate in G9 Mark II. So as usual, we go to the intelligent monkey to be in focus. Then we're going to move to the genie in focus. Then finally we'll go to our lovely octopus lady in focus. And this is how the sample videos are going to look like. Lovely. Thank you very much for viewing this review. Until the next video, take care, stay safe, peace.